Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us and welcome to our live virtual open house event. We're so happy to have you with us this evening. We'll be your hosts for the night. I am Ms. Raskin. I'm the IB coordinator here at Marymount Academy International.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Rossi, and I'm a secondary 2 geography and history teacher. So let me give you a quick overview of what's going to be happening tonight. We're going to be starting off with a promotional video for our school. We're going to do an overview of the IB program by Ms. Raskin. We're going to have a short interview with Ms. Kim. We're going to be having a discussion with our ECA coordinator. There's going to be a tour of our science lab. We're going to be visiting the physical education department. We're going to be treated to a musical performance. We're going to be having a conversation with our guidance team, and we're going to wrap up with any questions that you may have.
Wow, that sounds like a jam-packed night.
It's going to be fun.
I'm excited. But before we get started, we do have an introduction from our administration, Mr. Fiquet and Ms. Fiumedinisi. Good evening. How are you both?
Hi there.
Hi, Ms. Raskin. Hi, Mr. Rossi. Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, students, prospective students. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our virtual open house. It is something that we started last year. One of the great silver linings of COVID, if we can say. It's been a really fun event for us, and we're glad to have you with us here this evening. So tonight we wanted to give you a little overview of what we have to offer, what our school is about. Before we start that, just so we can introduce ourselves, Mr. Fiquet, myself, I'm the principal of the school. So I oversee the whole school, all its operations and its staff. Also deal with parents and students on a daily basis. But here with me is Ms. Fiumedinisi, our vice principal, who is a very familiar face here as well.
Hi, everyone. So I'm the vice principal of the school. Very proud to be here. Students will see me in the hallways, going up and down, just making sure that everything and everyone, is happy and everything is running smoothly.
Ms. Fiumedinisi is our staple, our rock here at the school, and any current parents and current students who are tuning in know that she is the person that students will be seeing every day. So before we start with the rest of the evening, we just wanted to give you a quick overview of what our school is, because for some of you, this may be the first time you're hearing directly about Marymount Academy. Over the past week or so, Ms. Raskin and Mr. Rossi and Ms. Menard, a few staff members, along with some of our students, have been doing virtual visits, perhaps in your child's schools. We've been visiting the schools and elementary schools in the area, so perhaps they are familiar, but perhaps you're a new parent as well, tuning into to us for the first time. So just an overview of our school. We're a community school, but our community stretches across the globe, honestly, and that's not a euphemism or an exaggeration in any way. We're about 400 kids, so we're not one of the bigger schools. We're a pretty tight community. We serve the students, families who live in NDG Coteneige area, but we have students from all over, from the East End, from the South Shore, from the West Island. So it's a pretty broad mix. And as you can imagine, living in this community, for the most part, there's a very, very diverse background here in the school. So we have a ton of different ethnicities that are represented here in the school, probably 40 to 50 at any given time. And our multicultural, multi-background school is kind of what weaves our fabric and makes us special here at the school. So we have an IB program here at the school. If we look at academics, so we have a regular stream and we have an IB program. In either or, students can pursue high math and science at the senior levels. But what sets our IB program apart is that it's an immersion program in the first two levels, so secondary 1 and 2, along with third language. And those things are available, except for the third language, in our regular stream as well. Okay. So before I go on too much about the school, I'll let the people who you will be seeing every day, the teachers and the kids, do most of the talking this evening. So you're going to hear from our staff, you're going to hear from our students, some of our professionals, and they'll describe what supports they have here for students at the school. We're also going to have a short question and answer period a bit later on. But to kick things off, we are going to show you a short promotional video that we did last year that gives you a good overview of the school and shows some of our students who were involved. It was a really, really fun project. And also later in the show, we are going to be providing the link for registration. So parents, if you are interested in applying right away, you can do so directly through our website tonight. Okay. So without further ado, we're going to cut to our promotional video.
Greetings to all prospective students, parents, and guardians. It's your boy Hazelnut on the mic with your daily morning announcements. And on behalf of Marymount Academy International, we'd like to warmly welcome you to our virtual open house. Today, we'll be taking a look at everything our great school has to offer, from our renowned sports teams to a wide variety of extracurricular activities and our excellent academic programs. We hope you enjoy your virtual experience, and we hope to see you all next year here at Marymount. This is your boy Hazelnut, signing out. The community here at Marymount is exceptional. As somebody who attended a leadership camp that comprised all schools in the EMSB, I can confirm that the Marymount community is one of the strongest and one of the most supportive of its kind.
When I first came to Marymount, I felt very secure, and that feeling has not left me to this day. We're not just enrolled in any school together. We're enrolled in Marymount together. This is the Marymount experience.
The Marymount Cougars also have a rich history of athletic success. Our badminton and basketball teams are almost always towards the top of the city at the bantam, midget, and juvenile levels for both boys and girls.
Wow, what an interesting video, and truly all-encompassing about life here at Marymount. Amazing.
I agree. So nice to get a glimpse of the things that we can offer.
So this video could be found on our website and on YouTube, and it's a great way to get a sense of what Marymount has to offer. So after the webcast, feel free to check it out in its entirety.
It's worth the watch for sure. It gives
Absolutely.
you a really good idea of what makes our school so special.
Absolutely.
Before we continue, I would like to say a little bit about our IB program here as the IB coordinator. Mr. Fiquet touched on how it is an immersion program in grades 7 and 8, including a study of a second language, which is Spanish. In terms of what's covered in class and how it's different than the general stream, students are encouraged to consider their role as a learner. So it's very student-centered, inquiry-based. So asking the right questions, thinking critically about the material, considering the effect that a student has on the world around them and how the world affects them. So this means really learning how to be a citizen of the classroom, of the school, of the community, and of the world. Outside of the classroom, we engage in community and service projects every year. So this is a chance for students to, again, become aware as a citizen of the school, giving back to their community. We have a variety of different initiatives, and it's a very enriching experience for students who get to build their skills. Finally, in grade 11, students complete a personal project, which is a self-directed learning initiative. And when a student completes IB from secondary 1 to secondary 5, they're awarded a provincial certification, a DESI certification. And this is recognized by SRAM CEGEPs with a 2% increase on CEGEP application.
Wow, what a fascinating program.
It has a lot to offer. Yeah, it could be a really good fit for a lot of students.
Sounds very rewarding. So next up, we're going to be heading over to Madame Ménard, the head of our French department, who is accompanied by Isabella, a secondary 5 student, and Matteo, a secondary 2 IB student. Bonjour, Madame Ménard.
Bonjour, Mr. Rossi. Bonjour, Miss Raskin.
Hi, Isabella. I'm going to start with you first. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your experience. So can you tell us a bit about your experience here at the school and what a prospective student can expect at Marymount?
For sure.
My experience in Marymount has been great since I got here. I grew a lot as a person and as a student. I got to know different perspectives about the world and relate myself to our community and get to know different perspectives of my classmates.
That's wonderful.
Future students can expect to be involved in the school in several different ways and do a lot of group projects and give back to your community as well.
Thank you so much. Can you tell us, you mentioned giving back to your community. Can you tell us a bit about the IB program and your volunteer experience?
Yes. In secondary 3, I was volunteering at elementary school, and it was one of the greatest experiences in my life. I love it just to go to the elementary school, see how the children are doing, and be with them as a high school student. And they had a lot of questions as well. They look at up to myself like I want to achieve that as well. So it was just super great, and it encouraged me to think about my job and maybe go into this world of teaching children, being with them.
Wow, that's so wonderful. It sounds
Yeah,
like it was a
amazing.
very rewarding experience for you. That's really great. I'm glad that you had that opportunity.
Madame Hénard, donc j'ai une question pour vous. Comme vous
Oui.
êtes un professeur d'immersion, pourrez-vous et Mathéo peut-être juste nous parler un peu du programme, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, bien sûr. Donc, Mathéo, alors explique-nous comment tu trouves le programme d'immersion. Qu'est-ce que ça t'apporte d'avoir la majorité de tes cours en français?
Je trouve que c'est incroyable parce que ça m'aide vraiment à affiner mes connaissances en français et je sais que ça va m'aider dans le futur, dans le travail du futur ou n'importe où, surtout au Québec car le français est une langue très importante et j'aime beaucoup les immersions.
Parfait. Et aussi, à Marymount, comment tu pourrais décrire l'aide ou le support académique que les élèves reçoivent ici?
Je le décris incroyable parce que les professeurs les aident vraiment et ils les tutorent et les étudiants, ils peuvent regarder vraiment les matières qu'ils ont des difficultés et vraiment évoluer ensemble. Comme des STEP ou childcare, ça aide beaucoup aussi.
Parfait. Ben, merci. Merci beaucoup. Donc, à vous, Mr. Rossi et Miss Raskin.
Thank
Merci.
you so much.
Ouais, merci beaucoup, Madame Ménard. Thank you, Matteo, and thank you, Isabella. I really liked what Matteo said about the whole French immersion within the first 2 years. I mean, I was his history and geography teacher last year, and given the fact that both courses are done in French, we saw a lot of improvements within the French language skills from our classmates, especially in the IB program.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, and all the support available through our step room. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. All right, next up, we're going to be talking to Miss Angela Kim, who is accompanied by 2 students, Daria and Shinyu. Good evening, Miss Kim.
Hi, how are you, everybody?
Good, how are
Great,
you?
how are you?
Very good.
So, Miss Kim, can you please explain to us your role here at Marymount?
Of course, my name is Ms. Kim. I work with international students at Marymount Academy. My goal is to receive and welcome all the new international students and existing. We have a lot of students coming from Iran, Brazil, Vietnam, China, and Korea, to name a few. And my goal is to make them feel welcome and also be comfortable in school. So they can come and ask me any questions they have and then come and even have a lunch with me, right? So we really enjoy it. And outside of school, we enjoy going on our own trips. My goal is also to have them to try to go out of school to experience something that's what your classmates would experience. So we got to La Ronde with students. We'll be going to ski and also Sugar Shack, right? So that's what our classmates were talking about. And then that's what I wanted our international students to experience. The one experience I have in mind that comes in my head is some of the students came to me, Miss, we really wanted to celebrate Lunar New Year with my classmates. So we arranged a big festivity in school. We invited everybody in the classroom, the staff, teachers, and the classmates, and we arranged chopstick championship stations, origami stations. We did sushi making stations, making bubble teas, and then also made a Vietnamese a rice wrap. And we also had a station where they can write their own name either in Chinese, Korean, or Japanese. So it was great to see the classmates learn from their friends from other countries, to learn from each other and and having real cultural exchange. And the faces I see from their classmates, the one who's teaching them, that was fantastic. I think that's what it makes Marymount so special. It's not just a school, it's a community. And then that's where we like to continue. Thank you.
That's so lovely.
Yeah, very
It
cool.
sounds like from the way that you're describing it and from my experience, certainly, I'm sure yours too, Mr. Rossi, it's really like a celebration of all of these different cultures and traditions, which is so lovely. So nice to learn from each other in that way. Maybe either Doria or Shinyu, could you tell us a bit about your first memorable experience here at Marymount?
Yes, I would say that my first memorable year here at Marymount would be when I first arrived here, which was last year, Sec 4. It was during the pandemic, and we also had online classes and alternating with in-school. So I was stressed, but the environment was very friendly and adjustable. And I was scared to fall back on classes, but the teachers helped me a lot, as well as the students. On my first day of school, when I arrived here, I remember going into class and I looked around, and it was a very diverse environment. It was very friendly and I could fit in easily. Everyone was nice, and I would say that it was a very much enjoyable experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I'm happy to hear that, even in a pandemic year, that this was something that stood out to you as a positive experience coming to our school. We're happy to have you. And Shinyu, could you tell us a little bit about the supports that are available here for international students?
Yeah, sure. For the international students, we always have fully supports available in Marymount. First, as an international students, we will be placed in the beginner classes to learn basic French. And then second, we will get extra English program called ESL. Third, all our teacher for all the subject will always help us, and they're flexible, available to help us with homework during lunch and after school. We also have many services and sources to be used, such as the app called Rosetta Stone for French, which is really helpful. And yeah, to enjoy the school year.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Kim, Doria, and Shinyu. That was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Our pleasure.
Have a great evening.
So our school has many different facets, much to offer, and someone who can provide a lot of variety in terms of different areas to get involved in is our ECA coordinator, Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele is joining us tonight. Hi, Mr. Steele.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
We're well, thanks. Can you tell us a little bit more about your role here at Marymount?
Yeah, as ECA coordinator, I oversee our sports programs, our GMA activities, and some ECA extracurricular activities that are happening throughout the school.
Great. We can see already that it's active behind you there in the gym. Can you provide an overview for us as well of the ECAs at the school?
Yeah, so pre-pandemic, of course, balls don't hit the floor, guys. Pre-pandemic, we were involved in many sports. We had our badminton team won the championship. Our basketball team is usually very strong. We offer indoor soccer or futsal, soccer, flag football, volleyball. We have intramural hockey, chest passes. Intramural, the ball doesn't touch the floor. Intramural hockey, amongst a variety of other sports. We have a fantastic weight room that is open to the kids at lunchtime, and we put it to good use.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to get that intramural hockey going, Mr. Steele, honestly. But Mr. Steele, maybe how do you integrate students into the school? Like, what links school life and sports?
Well, for me, I believe that kids are student athletes, not athlete students. So being a student is your priority, and being an athlete is a privilege. And here at Marymount, we are strong believers of you can't do one without doing the other. So we first ask that our kids be good students before they participate in our extracurricular activities and on our sports teams.
Wow.
All right.
Very well put.
Yeah, what a great program, honestly. It's a lot. There's stuff for almost anyone, for what it sounds like.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much, Mr. Steele.
Thank you.
So that was Mr. Steele, our ECA coordinator and our in-house golf expert. So we're going to be switching gears, and we're going to be speaking to Ms. Khan, who is the head of our science department, who will maybe explain to us what goes on in our science classes here at Marymount. Good evening, Ms. Khan.
Hi, Ms. Khan.
Hi, welcome to the science department.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here with us.
So, Ms. Khan, what are some facilities that are available to the students to conduct experiments?
We're actually really fortunate at Marymount. We actually have 4 labs available for the students. Right now, we're in the wet lab, which is mainly used for chemistry. Next door, we have the physics lab. In the west wing, we have a biology lab. And downstairs, we actually have a full technology lab.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, very cool.
Lots of opportunities to get engaged in science on different levels. And within the program, could you tell us a bit about the activities that you cover in science?
Well, as part of the curriculum, we have a really hands-on approach and try to get kids as possible to really get in and get their hands dirty. I thought I'd let the kids explain what they're doing. So we're going to start off with block A over here.
Hi everyone. I'm going to show you a really cool lab we did in Sec 4.
This is a potassium and is part of the alkali metal and is very reactive.
And now I'm going to show you its reaction with water.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay, thank you, Ake. And Minji, over to Shadia now.
Hi guys, so I'm going to be doing a lab that involves 2 solids, ammonium thiocyanate and barium hydroxide. So first I'm going to wet this piece of wood. There you go, get it wet. And I'm going to put this beaker right here. And then I'm going to put my ammonium thiocyanate in here. And then I'm going to put the barium hydroxide in here. Hopefully it works. So then I'm going to mix these 2 solids together. And it's going to form a slush. So when it forms a slush, it's creating an endothermic reaction, which means it's absorbing heat. So you guys can't feel it right now, but this beaker is getting very, very cold.
Whoa.
You guys can feel it, but it's very cold.
And I think it's done, Shadia. No?
No, it's not done, but it will be so cold that it's going to stick to the wood.
Really?
Okay, well, maybe we'll come back to you. We're going to go over to Salal right now.
Hi guys, this is a cow eye. It's a dissection we do in Sec 3, and I've already partially dissected it. I'll just be showing you the insides of it for a bit. This is the vitreous humor. It's a fluid made of proteins and water, and it contains the lens, which focuses light into the eye.
Wow.
Thank you, Salal. And now on to Jenny.
Hi, I'm dissecting a sheep heart, and we learned this in our Sec 4 cardiovascular system unit. And this is the left part, and this is the right part, and this is the atrium, and this is the ventricle.
Thank you, Jenny. And we have Sally.
Hi, over here I'm dissecting a frog. Here you can see the organs like the heart and the small intestine. And this is how the frog looks in the front.
All right, well, that's our little tour of the science department. Oh, I'm sorry. I think Shadia's done. Okay. Go back to Shadia first.
So it was taking a long time, but yeah, I said it was getting very cold, so cold that it can actually stick to the beaker.
Whoa.
Wow.
Very cool. But it worked. Woo!
And that's it for our little tour. I hope you enjoyed it.
Wow, thank you so much, Ms. Khan, and thank you, students.
That was wonderful.
You guys had me at dissection. Incredible stuff. Very cool.
Mr. Rossi was hoping that we would get them.
Honestly, I really was, and I was rewarded. Like, thank you
They
so
delivered.
much.
Yeah.
It was great. So now it's time to check in with Marymount Academy's physical education department head, the very eccentric and very unique Mr. Bunn. Good evening, Mr. Bunn.
Hi, Mr. Bunn.
Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. As you can see, we have students in the gym. They're doing archery, which is A, one of our programs, and B, one of our extracurricular activities. So things are pretty good. It's nice to be in the gym again.
Very cool, Mr. Bunn. And tell me, what facilities do students have access to?
This year, we have access to 2 full-size gyms. We have a nicely stocked weight training room downstairs in the lower gym area, and we have a nice soccer field out back.
Nice.
Fully equipped.
Absolutely. Can you also give us 2 examples of units that students will be expected to cover in physical education?
Absolutely. 2 basic units that they're all going to have at some point. Term 1, Unit 1, fitness across the board. We make sure that every single one of our students has an opportunity to ensure they're prepared to do what sports we're going to do in the next few units. We always start with fitness because some of us eat a little too many chips over the summer, and we have to get back ready to do what we need to do for the rest of the year. And at the end of the year, we usually end off with soccer, baseball, outside, because it allows us to incorporate all of the skills that we worked on in each of the units throughout the school year, allowing us to show a complete progression of learning.
Wonderful. And to take advantage of some finally warm weather.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mr. Bunn, can you tell us more about some special programs here at Marymount?
Absolutely. Some of the most interesting ones that we do are at the senior level with the secondary 4 and 5 students. At the secondary 4 level, we're doing a sport called goal ball, which is a sport for people who are visually impaired. So they wear blindfolds and they have to learn how to play relying on their other senses. In the Sec 5 area, we end up with fencing and archery and martial arts unit this year, where the students are actually engaged in all of those things. So this right now, what's being done by some of our former students, alumni who came back, and some of our current students, this represents the archery program that we do. And they, as you can see, with real arrows, real bows, real targets, they actually learn how to properly target shoot. And it's one of the more interesting and fun aspects of the program that a lot of kids look forward to every year at the Sec 5 level.
Thank you, Mr. Bunn.
Wow, very cool.
Such a diverse program, really something for everyone.
Very interesting.
Proud of that one.
Thanks,
Mr. Bunn.
Students have actually told me that they really enjoy archery for its calming effects. You have to be so focused that it really just helps them de-stress before a day of school.
Very cool stuff.
So we've seen sports, we've spoken to different students, we've seen science, and now we're heading over to our music teacher and some students from music class. We're going to get to see a demonstration of African drumming with Miss Francis.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I'm very fine. How are you, Ms. Raskin?
I'm wonderful, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about the history and the cultural importance of African drumming?
Well, before we go there, I want to do a little presentation of a couple string players at the school who are playing.
Wonderful.
Wow, cool.
So we have 2 students, Minji and Subin, who are going to play a brief violin duet for us.
We can't wait.
Ladies.
Wow, well done, ladies.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
It was lovely, wasn't it? Now,
that really was.
Now, as you know, in Marymount, we play all sorts of instruments. Now, as you asked, Ms. Raskin, we have right now behind me some students who are playing various forms of instruments from Africa. Now, we have the djembe, we have the bongos, we have cowbells, the cowbell, and we have a woodblock. All these instruments come from Africa. The djembe, the bongo, the conga were the cell phones of the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th century. When slaves were brought here from Africa to the New World, they didn't put slaves who were a Shanti tribe with another tribe. No, no, no. different tribes were mixed in so that they couldn't communicate with one another. They couldn't communicate through language, but they could communicate through the drum. These drums and the languages they spoke told the slaves, okay, escape, run away. The slave masters got wise. And they said, first we're going to ban the slaves from drumming with anything with a skin. Then they banned slaves banging anything that had a piece of wood. But slaves being clever, they didn't ban metal. The steel pan it was created because slaves were banned from playing wood and banned from playing skins, but they weren't banned from playing with metal. What we're going to do right now is do a brief musical demonstration using a merengue rhythm, which is what the bongos will be playing in the congas, which is nice cup of tea, the basic merengue, with a basic merengue or a merengue mambo backbeat. Okay?
Sounds great. Thank you for that explanation, Ms. Francis.
Thank you so very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very, very interesting. As a former musician, when I was in high school, I mean, music was really my calling. But Ms. Francis, how has music helped students improve in other areas at Marymount?
Well, you have to be focused when you play music. You cannot be anything but focused. You have to be dedicated when you play music. You have to be willing to say that this is what I'm interested in. I'm willing to become better at it and perfect those skills. The students at Marymount, when they play music, are allowed to express themselves. Something as simple as banging a drum when you're frustrated is a great way to get rid of frustrations.
Mm.
And it's, yeah, of course. Any other questions?
Yes, absolutely. What performances can we look forward to in the near future?
Well, after 2 years of non-concerts, this year, the Thursday prior to Victoria Holiday Weekend, which I do believe is the 19th of May, 2022, we will be having the Arts Night performance here, out in our field.
Wow.
So the art teachers, Madame Caraway and Gucciardi, will be having wonderful art displays. And my students, the senior band, that's grade 9, 10, 11, the junior band, grade 7 and 8, the steel pan troupe run by Madame Fatima Wilson, and the dance troupe will all be performing that night. Hope to see you then.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ms. Francis.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
So nice to hear melodies ring through the school too.
Yeah,
It's always
it's
filled with music, and
it's really inspiring.
yeah, brings everything to life. We also acknowledge that aside from academic support, all of these various activities that can really help students express themselves and learn more about who they are, a really important component of high school is having support. And we're really lucky to have a strong guidance team to offer that to our students. And we're joined tonight by Miss Catherine and Miss Gorman. Hi, Miss Catherine. Hi, Miss Gorman.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Hi, good
Hi
evening.
there.
Thank you so much for joining us. Could you each tell us a little bit about your role here at the school?
Absolutely. So as a guidance counselor in Marymount, I wear many hats. One of my main goals is to provide personal counseling to students. So my absolute goal is to offer students a non-judgmental environment in which they can talk about any concern they may have. So maybe they're feeling overwhelmed by classwork, they're having conflict with a friend, grieving, dealing with difficult moods. I'm there to listen and to help them work through problems. I also coordinated workshops for students on different subjects such as substance abuse prevention, healthy relationships, appropriate use of social media. Another big aspect of my role at Marymount is to help students when they have to make choices in their academic career. And I really believe that high school is the perfect time for self exploration. So I help students make academic choices by encouraging them to get to know their skills, their personality, and their interests. And that can happen through conversations, volunteering, which we're very strong for at Marymount, or trying out new activities. And finally, I try my best to provide students with accurate and up-to-date information about the labor market and careers of interest to them. And I explain to them that a lot of the careers are very different than what they see on TV. And also, since I'll be meeting with lots of potential students and parents, one of my main tasks is to look over registration files to make sure that Marymount is the best fit for your child and that we can do everything possible to meet your child's need. So I'll send it over to Ms. Gorman to tell us a bit about her role at Marymount.
Hi. So yes, thank you, Catherine. So I add to the guidance team by providing psychosocial support. I am a psychotherapist and I provide services in terms of support groups, but also individual therapy. With the individual therapy, I'm focusing clearly on the specific distress and anxieties of the student, and we work towards their goals for achieving success. And with the support groups, they tend to be more catered to the specific group and what their needs are, but it's much more psychosocial in a sense. So I will cater the group with specific themes and topics. Some of those might being coping skills, communication skills, working through relationships, identifying personal strengths, how to deal with peer pressure, conflict resolution, anger management, transitions in life, which is a big deal right now in high school years, is transitions, I guess, in every stage of our lives. But I guess what I really want to say too, after listening to all my colleagues talking tonight, is just this concept of the fact that Marymount really is a family, and the academics are important, and the mental health is important. And something that I've really studied and been very focused on is the idea and the importance of the fact that if you're feeling good, you will think well. So having a healthy mentality and having a healthy mental state will also help you with your academic success. And so we all work together as a team, all of us, every professional, every teacher, all the members of this school, working to make sure the students will succeed.
Incredible work, ladies. Thank you both so much. One quick question for either of you. How do you feel the current situation has highlighted the importance of having a strong support system for students?
Yes, for sure. I can answer that question. So I think we all acknowledge that students have had to cope with an incredible amount of stressors since March 2020, and many students have felt very isolated. And a lot of studies have shown that social isolation and loneliness are associated with a greater risk of poor mental health. But thankfully, having a strong support network is one of the #1 protective factors that can have a positive impact on our mental health. So as we saw in Marymount, we really make it a priority to strengthen a student support system in different ways. So, for example, offering one-on-one sessions with one of our mental health professionals, building that sense of community through involvement in one of our many leadership activities or extracurriculars, and just helping students connect with each other. And personally, I've also adapted the way I offer my support. For example, making myself available by phone or Teams or Zoom when school shut down, or if a student is not able to be physically present at school. So back to Ms. Raskin and Mr. Rossi.
Thank you so much, Ms. Catherine and Ms. Gwyneth. And
My pleasure.
really, thank you for everything that you do here at school. For ourselves, the staff, and most importantly for the students, your service is indispensable. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We're wrapping it up tonight, so now it's our question period.
That's right. And we actually did receive a question for our administrator, Mr. Fiquet and Mr. Medinizzi. The question is MMA, is Marymount a French immersion school or an English core school?
Yes, yeah, that's an excellent question and one that we often get. In high school, it functions a little differently than elementary school. So instead of having one program or the other, we have both. So our IB program is really designed for students coming from an immersion school. So there's quite a few in our area, and we offer the immersion in secondary 1 and 2. It doesn't lead to an immersion certificate because we believe in order to get them the strongest base possible in science and math, we want students to take those subjects in English. But in secondary 1 and 2, they're going to continue to work on their French skills and perfect them by doing Français émergent, programme local, along with Histoire, Géographie, and Sciences. So they have 3 of their subjects in English, along with a higher level of French. And that's in addition to the 3rd language of Spanish. So is it French immersion or core? It's both. In our regular program, those subjects that I just mentioned are only covered in English, but they are covered in French in the immersion program, in the IB program.
Thank you. We have several more questions.
Yeah, great question, though. Another question coming in is, what are the advantages of the IB program? And nobody better to answer this question than Ms. Raskin.
Yeah, happy to take that one. So it's a student-centered approach to learning. It's inquiry-based. So one of the advantages is the emphasis on critical thinking, creative thinking, skill building. So it's not just about the content you're learning, what you're learning, but it is the how you learn. So it builds self-awareness in students. That allows you to reflect on your strengths, your weaknesses, and emphasizes growth throughout your education, which is vital to have as you go throughout your academic career and your professional career. As well, by our mandatory community and service involvement, students become active citizens of their community, really learning what it means to give back, to have a stake in the community that they're involved in, and to be active citizens. And finally, there is the 2% recognition from SRAM CEGEPs once a student completes the IB program all the way through from grade 7 to grade 11.
There's many layers to these advantages. It's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice too because it's really about the students. So it really becomes more individualized and focuses on how a student learns and what benefits them, and to learn from each other as much as from the teacher. Which
yeah, absolutely.
Is, definitely a strength.
Thanks, Ms. Raskin.
My pleasure.
Another question coming in here.
What do you feel is something that defines the Marymount experience?
Marymount experience is unlike any other. I mean, it's unique in and of itself. You know, we've heard the term community a lot here at Marymount, but it's even more than a community. It's a family. Students, teachers, the staff members, administrators, the bonds that are developed between these groups of people is unlike any other. There's trusting relationships between everyone. You know, like we saw in Mr. Bunn's phys ed class, there's former students that return after graduating to help out and that still want to be part of this community, this family. And one thing that I really want to stress is the cultural diversity. It is incredible. There's so many languages, so many cultures. There's so much richness to the fabric that makes Marymount a school. And since there's no real dominant group, there's a sense of equality, there's openness and acceptance for all. And what's really cool, if I could share a little anecdote in terms of the so many languages and so many cultures, I've picked up some words and languages that I would otherwise never have dreamed of learning.
Have you really?
Very cool.
Could you give us an example?
I know how to say sandwich in Hebrew, kahir.
There you go. You never know what you're going to learn.
That's right.
Outside of academics, our students are obviously very involved in our school. We see examples of this behind the scenes in our webcast today. So what are some of the things that you find students are often involved in?
Yeah, well, students are very active in the community, in collaboration projects with outside organizations like the MUHC Research Center, the PAMA organization, hosting events such as Spoken Word, which I know you absolutely love. We have tutoring elementary students in nearby schools. And when I was teaching at an elementary school not far, we had Marymount students come in to help out with math.
Nice. There you
Awesome
go.
stuff.
So you got it from both sides.
Yeah.
As well, we have such a broad array of ECAs. So we have a chess club, we have a bike club, we have many GMMA teams. We have annual level trips and outings for students, skiing, which was mentioned before. We have a cooking club from our Fresh Fusion Bistro. The list goes on and on. There are so many different ways that students can get to experience their interests together and learn from one another.
All right, so I think we do have a few more questions coming in here. Let me just check.
We have a question of if a student has ADHD, is there academic support? Mr. Fiquet and Ms. Fumidinizi, maybe you can speak a bit to that.
Yes, definitely, we can speak to that for sure. Yeah, here at Marymount, we do have the STEP program, which we're known for. It's a degree of support that we have. We have a dedicated full-time teacher to offering resource support. So that teacher will coordinate any students with IEPs or with special needs, and sort of act as a facilitator between understanding what those needs are and making sure that the rest of the teaching staff is able to meet those needs and give the child the support that they need. On top of that, specifically for ADHD, yes, we do have 2 behavior techs in the school, and behavior techs will work with students who have a bit of that difficulty when it comes to controlling emotion and just their conduct and socialization in school. So definitely, yeah, we work with many kids who have diagnoses, including ADHD.
Thank you. There's a follow-up question for IB as well. How is it tailored to native Montrealers or new Canadians?
So yeah, I can field that one as well, Ms. Raskin. So again, we do have local students and international students in the program. We do make exceptions and accommodations for international students who are new to the country, new to speaking French. Often we'll get international students who have never spoken French before in their lives, but they do want to come here and they do want to take the IB program starting in secondary 1 or 2, and we do give them the opportunity. We don't want to exclude anybody from our program. They will have to work hard. They will have to apply themselves because they do have to have a certain degree of proficiency in French by their 3rd year. But we do offer supports as providing some of the materials, workbooks in English, offering the integration French course alongside the immersion French. So our teachers adapt to both levels of students, often within the same class. And we have additional support such as an FSL tutor that will come into those groups specifically to help those kids. So we tailor it for both. We make the accommodations for the students that want to join us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Piquet, and thank you for those questions. This really is a school that is here for the students. I mean, I mentioned how IB is student-centered learning, but I think in general, as a community, we're here for each other. We're here for our students, and we have many supports in place to make sure that they are set up for success.
So that's going to wrap up our question period and ultimately our event this evening. The link for registration to apply to attend Marymount next year will be shown on screen, and it will also be on our school website.
Mr. Rossi, I'm just going to interject here a little bit.
No problem.
And we can cut back here. There was another question from Facebook, and this question that we get often, especially this year, is parents want to know if they can come see the school. Is it possible to organize a tour? The answer to that is yes. We chose not to do it tonight because it means we would have many kids from different elementary schools coming in to the building, and that just would be a little bit too much risk given the situation. But we do offer tours. So it's organized primarily through our guidance department. So Ms. Egeman, one of our guests that spoke tonight, will organize that, and we offer it on like a rotating basis. It's going to depend on how many students want tours, but we offer them in small groups of no more than 3 families at a time. So any families out there that want to come and see the school in person and meet some people here in the building and have a bit of conversation, definitely please give us a call or send an email to the general email address that you see down here. All of those emails come directly to me. So we will organize a tour for you if you want to come and see us and visit us.
Thank you so much for answering that question as well. It's an important one. We got another great question that we can speak to right away as well. When and how to apply?
Registration is open.
No need to wait.
Nope. Feel free to go on our website. The admissions link, it will be there,
And
as
the
it is here.
registration link is right here as well.
Yep.
And that basically wraps it up for this evening. Thank you so much for participating and viewing our webcast. It's been such a pleasure hosting you.
Thank you, Ms. Raskin.
Thank you, Mr. Rossi. And hopefully we'll get to see you next year.
Hope to see you soon.
We'll pass it off to Mr. Fiquet and Ms. Munimizi for their goodnight message.
Thank you, Ms. Raskin and Mr. Rossi. You guys did a great job as usual. Okay, so parents, students, we hope that this was an informative evening for you. We hope that we answered most of your questions. Again, we strongly encourage you just to reach out to us, go to our website, look under our admissions page. On the website, on the staff directory, you see all teachers' emails. Even if it's a teacher that you saw or a staff member you saw tonight, and you have some questions specifically for them, feel free to do so, please. Make sure to check out the video that you saw. There was a short clip of it, the promotional video, but it is a full 10-minute video, so we're going to let you watch that at your own comfort after this. But we welcome you to reach out to us, and we'd be glad to welcome you into the Marymount family for next year. Thank you.